Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of Behind the Chain. And with me is someone that is building the NFT ecosystem in the MENA region. Mr. Talal Alfghani, CEO of NIFTY Souq. How are you?
Hi, how are you? All's good. I'm one of the founding members of NIFTY Souq. We did a lot of tech startups before. We were trying to help a lot of people, or let's say solve a lot of issues in the ecosystem in the Middle East. So I was part of this tech scene for so far 8 or 9 years. And then we started NIFTY Souq based on a need that we saw from the beginning of 2021. And here we are. So yeah, NIFTY Souq.
So how did you see the need for NIFTY Souq, especially in the MENA region?
Well, my partner Nabil was part of an independent artist community. Corona happened, people are not doing any gigs, they're not doing concerts, they're not traveling. So all the independent artists were actually not making money anymore. Then we started to think, like, as technology people, how we can help those artists make some money.
Right.
So we thought of e-commerce, like selling t-shirts, mugs.
Like it would be really tough to scale and with the
Yeah, it's
suppliers.
just like a normal e-commerce, and it's like there's no flavor in it.
And even during the Corona, logistics were really tough
By default.
for all
Like
that, yeah?
itself, like shipping things from China was expensive, difficult. Supply chain logistics were broken. People were getting difficulty in other parts of the world to get food also. And then we saw that a lot of artists in the US became NFT artists. We saw that the NFT is the first application to the creator economy. So Andreessen Horowitz defines it as the creator economy. To help the artists or the creators, we need to introduce them to the world of NFTs. So we started by saying we'll do something called NFT as a service. In the East, it was still not common.
Relatively a really baby market for the NFT space.
Now
Crypto
because
was,
crypto was very well established, so people were either like suspicious, or they're reluctant, or the investments are high,
or all in, I know.
or all in. So some people are just pure believers like you guys. We were just looking at the technology. We wanted to bring the artists, and we have a good access to the community. So we have this unfair advantage, what they call in the startup world. We're speaking to musicians, independent artists. We spoke to them and was like, let's put you to make NFTs. So there was like a couple of months of explaining what is this, the technology.
Yeah. How did they got convinced or see the
They were not in the beginning. So you go and you say NFT, and there's like, what is that? Then you speak about the blockchain, then it's becoming difficult. So we started using normal basic things. So it's like, you have a CD. So nobody is doing that, but let's say you have a CD and it's signed by the artist.
Right.
So there could be 10 million copies, but the one is signed, is
original
unique,
source.
it's original, is authentic, it's closer to the artist, it's more valuable. So we explained this concept, we explained it to maybe 200 people. 20 is like, oh, we'll try. And this is where we started our actual technical journey. So we wanted to do this service on one of the global platforms in the US, and then we hit a wall. It was impossible.
Exactly.
And even if people were like a little bit adopters, 1% or 2%. So you go on OpenSea, which is the global company, the largest in the world. You go there and say, I want to find poetry, شعر نبطي. There's no such a category. Or you like, you know what, I want to find things from Levant, Bilad al-Sham. You can't find it. Okay, I want something from, for example, from UAE, Dubai, Saudi, Abu Dhabi.
Nothing is localized.
Nothing is localized.
Exactly.
And if you want to find creators around, like, the filters doesn't work this way. So, and a lot of people, they would invest and they would go. The terms and conditions are pretty difficult. It's also decentralization. There's no username and password. There's no somebody is doing the governance. And you're basically buying merchandise. So the authentication process is not coming from the region. All this infrastructure did not serve us. So we wanted to do this business instead of building it ourselves. It's like, fine, we don't have, if this infrastructure, I'm not one of those people who's like, you do everything alone. If there's an infrastructure, use it, build on it. And the blockchain allows you for that.
Yeah.
So we couldn't. This wall we hit, we kept working, me and my partner, on it for like 3 months. We kept trying with the creators. We created some NFT collections on that platform. All the buyers couldn't buy, and they would send them like, we can't buy it. The people who are like the believers of the project.
Even though there was initial interest at that
There
start
was
as
an
well.
interest.
When you explained the whole concept to the artists, did you ever get the argument of it's just a JPEG?
Yes, and some didn't really believe in it until they started hearing news. Like Snoop did this. One rapper fundraised 1 million, sold 1 million NFTs, won $1 in 1 hour. People sold ours for 69 million.
And
So
the
when they
FOMO
started
comes in.
seeing, no, actually, they need validation, and it's a weird technology. So because we are dealing with this every day, to us it's like, yeah, it's authentication. It makes sense.
So given that, you know, your tech experience and finding a gap in the NFT space, the crypto space has a lot of questionable personalities that pop up left and right, and خلاص, they suddenly disappear. And it has happened in Dubai. So how did you build credibility in the crypto space when it came to your artists signing up on board, when it came to your customers or any potential investors?
Well, first of all, we started, like, we've been in the ecosystem for a while in terms of technology. When we spoke to the artists, as I told you, my partner is basically one of those fanatics about art, so he knows people personally. And our value proposition when we launched NIFTY Souq to the artists, like, don't pay anything. You come, there's no exclusivity. You can bring your work or art on any platform. We will cover the minting fees, we'll feature you, and you have nothing to lose. If you make the money, and this is our value proposition to the artists and to all the creators, you take 100% of those money. We take only small fees, 2% from the buyers. So this is why NFTs and this creator economy is much better than just working with other platforms, not NFT, normal streaming platforms, normal marketing, because there's the agent, there's the company, there's the sub-company, there's the audience, and you don't know how much money you're making. That's how we got from 200 creators upon launching to now more, like, very short from 1,000.
Oh,
yeah.
So usually with marketplaces, there's the problem of the chicken and the egg. Did you approach the artist first, or you build the community that there will be artists coming?
We did both, but we're focusing on creators. About this platform is that the creators have their own fan base,
and they just drive.
They just drive traffic. So
your timing was like spot on, because the NFT market was surging, and suddenly the demand popped in.
The truth is, we were seeing the trend. We were ready, and we come from tech background. This allows us to move much faster. We did not really. We ideated around this for less than a month. Then we decided full-fledged, jump on, launch. We need to do something. We tried an NFT as a service. It didn't work. We tried for a couple of months. Then we said we're launching Ethereum. Ethereum is expensive. Then we moved to Polygon and we just launched.
So as a serial entrepreneur, because your Blue
It's
Light
not my
brand,
first startup, yes.
There's still, your two other startups are still ongoing.
Well, actually, one was exited before, and the other one has its own team. We spun it off as its own team.
So it's on autopilot.
Yeah, it's working. They have their investors, their team, and everything. Me and my partner Nabil are 100% focused on NIFTY Souq. We feel it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We're going to be busy building this ecosystem and company in the Middle East for the next 5 to 7 to maybe 10 years. The applications of the smart contract are phenomenal. It will go to universities issuing certificates. It will go to ticketing. It will go to crowdfunding.
So any industry, exactly.
Yeah, so big application.
So given that you had, 1 month of groundwork for ideation and MVPs and then building and testing, what were the steps you took when you started building the team?
If you can't find a friend or a direct connection who would do something, outsource fast. So you need to outsource anything you can't do yourself, and you need to move fast. Corona made it very common and mentally removed the barriers of location. So we had an agency in a country, a development team in another, community manager from the other. So we have now, as we speak, we're a small team, but we're between Canada, Japan, Jordan, UAE, Saudi, Egypt. We have a designer in Algeria.
Wow.
And 2 developers in Palestine. So, and 2 agencies and companies that work with us also in different countries.
You said Palestine.
Yes.
That's a rare case also, like having a global team.
Man, Upwork and those tools, like I thank technology, Zoom, Jira, Slack, the emails, it's just beautiful. And people stopped wanting people to come to the office and maybe they check their phone for 4 or 5 hours playing on social media or like just wasting time.
Right.
Okay, social media is not wasting time, so I'm doing this. I'm just saying.
It depends on how you use it.
Yes. Not purely, but you can't measure actually the output of people by coming to the office. It's not the factories. It's not the industrial age. It's not like we're not moving bricks.
Just KPIs.
So yes, you measure people's output by the outcome. So if somebody is very talented and put 4 hours of work a day and gives you what you want, you should just send him chocolate and flowers. If somebody comes for a week and does not produce what you want, and in a startup it's very easy. You get shit done, you move fast.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's a huge hierarchy. So I think we were blessed in finding good talent. We had the intention. There's a lot of testing. It's very difficult to build a culture where it's built on trust. So nobody is allowed to, like, we encourage people to say, I didn't come to the meeting, I overslept. I was like,
I've used this excuse like countless times.
Yeah, it's like,
come on, it's a valid excuse.
Yeah, it's a valid excuse. It's better than saying, okay, the electricity cut or like the building, whatever happened.
Yeah,
it's like my car.
And with your past startups, were they also remote or just after Corona?
We were more used to it because you have to have a good kitchen of resources in a country. As a startup, you cannot afford everybody to be in an expensive city. And Dubai is a metropolitan city, so it's not easy. So it's common practice, even for the big startups, even in the US, you have a business operation setup and commercial, and you have a kitchen for talent resources, and we used to have it in another country. Now, we don't have the mental barrier. It has to be in Jordan or Egypt or Syria or Lebanon or like any other country.
Anyway,
or Pakistan. It's like we find talent.
Right.
Talent, and not even necessarily on the same time zone. So it's code. You ship code. The product is that you're shipping code and you're shipping designs and content. I don't need to be even in the same time zone. So we have people who are like in different time zones.
You just develop.
Yeah, it's just like we're using the latest technology of just tracing and getting our things done.
That's amazing. What are your outlooks on the NFT market, specifically in the MENA region?
I think everybody who likes the space should focus on building infrastructure. It's not mature. There's a lot of adopters and early adopters and fanatics who could speak about it for hours, but those are less than 0.02% of population.
Right.
I believe within the next 5 to 7 years, tokenization and time and assets will be all digital on the blockchain in a way or another. So everybody who believes in the space should build infrastructure. We think of ourselves as an infrastructure. So you tomorrow, maybe for example, and I know you guys working in your own NFT project, you build that. So when you launch this, you find infrastructure in Arabic with easier payment gateways, whether you could be featured and not lost on a sea of NFTs. And oh my God, yes, I can make it a reality. Then another creator comes and is like, I want to build a museum for the NFTs on NIFTY Souq.
So what's your general advice to, let's say, any individual wishing to get into the crypto space or the NFT space?
Just try. The problem, or most of my friends, it's like, I don't know what to buy. Just go buy something for $5. There's nothing for $5, but like, watch a couple of YouTube videos. Our YouTube channel is very rich in Arabic content about how-tos. So we just want to teach people how to do things. So the biggest issue is like people are not trying. So opening a crypto account takes a lot of documents and time, but you do it once and it becomes a mainstream. Like the first time you go open a bank account, people are not getting their heads around it. So I advise anybody, just try. Download a wallet, buy $100 worth of crypto, store it, lose the seed phrase, buy a fake project.
Get liquidated on future. It's the best feeling.
No problem. Just learn. It's a priceless experience. Spend the weekend not watching a complete Netflix series. Just watch half of it and spend a couple of hours on YouTube to test with these things. Just testing gives you the tools to enrich your imagination. I would just say everybody should just test.
Well, would you feel like at some point crypto knowledge would be as essential as our normal tech know-how today? Like just using Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint?
I guess the technology would improve in a way for you to have Bitcoins or like let's say crypto. It's gonna be part of your normal bank portfolio. So you have dollars, you have dirhams. It's gonna be everywhere. It's an asset.
Yeah.
It's an asset. So banks will have that. Once it's like the normal financial institution bank, NFTs also. What we're doing for us, and it will happen also with the other verticals. What we're doing is we're removing all the complexity of blockchain, wallets, crypto. You can acquire NFTs with a credit card.
As simple as that.
And we create a profile, and you don't need even to store the seed phrase in the beginning. So we're making it very easy for anybody to go in and buy an NFT in 1 minute without even knowing what is Ethereum.
Just streamlining the whole process.
Exactly.
If they wish to withdraw, they can.
Yes, if they wish to withdraw their assets, put it on another platform, they have to do some technical work. But entering the space will be very easy. Everybody else we know who's working on infrastructure, trying to making it mainstream.
You've given amazing examples of how blockchain can scale, and regular financial entities like banks can adopt it. We could see Bitcoin on our bank account. Now, this whole shift of narrative of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies or implications of NFTs, going from decentralization, because at its current pace and time, it's in a decentralized market, going into decentralized entities that crypto is supposed to shy away from. How would you see that fitting into integrating the crypto market with its current customers back into the centralized entities?
I think crypto is if you talk about crypto as when you speak about crypto, whether you say Ethereum, Solana, Tezos, all those
decentralized infrastructure.
It's decentralized infrastructure, so you build applications on it, such as NFTs, whatever. If you talk about crypto as a financial instrument, saying Bitcoin, it's just a way of general consensus of the world to trade using an asset. If all the world is just adopting it, I think adoption will make the price increase. It will make it more centralized. You will actually have a better use cases on day-to-day basis. So now there's a lot of ETFs, a lot of governments adopting it, a lot of companies adopting it. So the more adoption, the more the price will increase, and the more it's recognized, and you can buy normal assets, not have to exchange every single time. I think, in my opinion, I think this will keep it there. Also, making it regulated, or having the governments involved will avoid a lot of issues we don't want. Maybe money laundering, maybe drug money or whatever. So I think it's good in general. Having it institutional will increase adoption. Somebody who couldn't buy it, but if his normal local bank was regulated by the central bank,
it's more liquidity.
Is like, yeah, I can buy it from here. It's like, okay, now I want to take this route. I'll hedge my dollar against it via Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency. In general, that's a thing. So I think general adoption and more regulation will increase the adoption and usability. For the NFT space,
it's a simple
my mission, or us as a company, we exist to build infrastructure for people to use the technology.
You have to be centralized.
Exactly. I want to be centralized. I want for people to know that they can obtain objects. We declare them to the government, or people know who's there. Maybe they can take loans. So imagine you have an NFT, and it's valued at a few $1 million. I hope you had one of those. I don't, but it's valued at $5 million, and you have an asset, and it's globally recognized that it's $5 million.
You can
if it's regulated, you can take a loan.
Yes.
You can lend it. If it's not regulated, you're like, who will give me money? Exactly. So a lot of DAOs are opening ETFs, a lot of lending, a lot of fractional NFTs are being sold as part of a huge investment vehicle, and there's a lot of applications. So the more, if you, for example, want to do crowdfunding for a charity project, you really want the government to be involved, because they will like nobody will take the money and just evaporate or disappear.
This has happened before.
It has happened before. So if it's regulated by the government in some country,
More trust.
and it's part of a sandbox where people can really bring the assets, it's there. It's on the blockchain, but there's a DAO or like an entity that is managing this money. It's good for the community. So I am not against making it regulated, and I'm not fully with the decentralization. And because we're not a crypto game, more we're the application. I want the adoption to be higher, and I think everybody should play well with the regulators.
It's amazing. And what are your next steps and plans for NIFTY Souq moving forward?
So again, we're doing more improvement on our tech every day. We want to be in more countries. We want to be on the ground with more communities. We just keep building and improving our infrastructure until there's higher adoption and people see the value of having this smart contract managing their assets.
That's amazing. So thank you so much, Talal, for joining us in Behind the Chain. It was really valuable having you here with us. Amazing insights. And for everybody watching, you should really go check out NIFTY Souq. They're really staying up ahead of the curve in the MENA region. To watch more videos like this and keeping up with the trends in the MENA region, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you later.
Thank you. Thank you, Karim.